How's everyone doing? And thanks for tuning into Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, unicycles, ships, boats, and 2023 Ford F-150 XL pick-em-up trucks, just like you're seeing right here. This is extended cab, 6.5-foot bed, regular XL pickup truck for our friends over at V3. We're going to see a bunch of these trucks cycle through here for this company, varying trim lines. This one happens to be an XL, pretty basic. Has that grill where we like to put the 4-inch M-Power in because we use the sticky mount right around the perimeter there. The wiring goes through. We drill a very small hole in the outer part of the grill for the wiring to pass through without interfering with those shutters. It's a real good mount for that 4-inch M-Power. If you have this base model grill, you don't really have to damage the grill at all, and it is removable if you ever change your mind. Above that, that's an Akari mount, damage-free as well, totally removable. And the all-new 19-inch Wicked Warnings light bar that we're going to have a bunch more detail coming soon on. That's a brand new product, and this is the first vehicle we've put it on. Look how good it looks in the mirror, too. Very cool. Now, you can do this package with or without the light bar. If you're not a fan of the light bar, you just simply nix the light bar and the mount off the order, and you can go ahead and have everything else and have a more slick top look. Again, that's 4-inch M-Power Amber Whites, the sticky mount in the front grille. We extended each one of them individually, ran them over, and joined them up, put them into the back of the switch on the dashboard. Very easy. You might notice behind that, in the side badges, is a 3-inch Amber only M-Power. You can see how well that works in that side badge. Really does kick backwards on about a 45-degree angle from where it's mounted there. And if you wanted an amber white, you could always swap that amber. For this package, we just went with solid amber in a quick flash pattern, I believe. That was like the third pattern down on the M-Power list. Here you can see that side badge light again doing its thing. That's a very easy mount right there. We just slide it through the 6th hole down. If you're counting from the top of the badge down, it's hole number 6 that we use. And you may have to enlarge that hole just a little bit depending on how the wires come out of the back of the M-Power. But sometimes you get away with just sliding it right in there. And we put a little bit of glue on the back of the badge just to further hold the M-Power. But I tell you, that 3M adhesion with the promoter really does grab quite well. There's a look at that Akari mount. We use that mount all the time with a Whelen light bar, but we decided to have a light bar manufactured that kind of matched up with our Wicked stick. So if you're a fan of the Wicked stick or a fan of our Raptor light, you'll like this light bar. The end caps are made on a smaller version of our Raptor light, so it has a really nice 180-degree curvature to it. Wraps all the way around the end of the light bar, and there's 3 segments in the middle of that bar, and it is a dual color bar. The other fun fact about that bar is it will flood white. It'll do the steady white. Very popular on a secondary switch. Now, we didn't do that on this build because it wasn't required, but we did get asked to put an amber white light bar, low profile, on top of this truck without drilling holes in the roof, and I think we hit the nail right on the head. Here's just a little pulled back version. You can see kind of what else we did here. That's what that light bar looks like with the camera lens at exactly 6 feet. I'm not cheating you on the height of the camera. We're all the way up at 6 feet here, and you can see the light bar very clearly. I'm about 10, 12 feet back from the truck as well. So below that, you'll see our EcoHaw in white in the reverse. Now, that's because this is an XL truck, so it has incandescent bulbs. There's no LEDs to flash in there. So although our auto flasher could hypothetically flash those incandescent bulbs, it's really not the right move. Flashing an incandescent bulb is going to lead you to a very slow, unimpressive display. It just doesn't look good. So on the incandescent vehicles, you're far better off, if possible, to put a hideaway light in there like our EcoHaw in white. Now, this truck has turn signals on the top half and reverse in the lower, as well as the brake in the middle. So if you wanted to put an opposing color EcoHaw in the top half, you could, and have amber on the top half of the light. Now, this truck is matching others in the fleet, so we went ahead with the 3-inch M-Power below the taillight because some other trucks in the fleet have the LED taillights where we're not going to be tapping in do not have an amber LED signal on them. So in order to get amber, we had to put the 3-inch M-Power below the taillight. And in order to match the fleet, we did that on this one as well. But if you didn't want to drill the hole below the taillight, you could do a hideaway in amber right above that white one and give yourself a real cool X pattern and go with it like that if you wished. This build, we have a white EcoHaw low dome in the bottom reverse portion. I mounted it from the bottom up, super easy, very, very easy to mount that 1-inch hole. And below that is a 3-inch M-Power in all amber Again, same pattern as that side badge, and that's mounted with the sticky and a single hole drilled through the bed metal right underneath there, tucked into the pocket right above the bumper. I like how it reflects over around the bumper, makes that light look a little bigger than it is. And I like that light in that location a lot because as I drop the camera right down to about 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet, where the average eyes are when you're sitting in a car, you can see how bright it is. It really does work quite well for traffic while you're sitting in your vehicle. That location really is powerful. And just in case you're curious, that's where we mounted them. That's the location. Real easy to do. Just need kind of a longer extension on your drill bit when you drill the hole. Make sure there's no sharp edges there. Here's your location on the side badge. Very inconspicuous. As you pan out, you don't even see them. They kind of disappear. That's another thing I like. And here's your location on the front grille. As I said, we're going to go ahead and clean this with the primer promoter quite well. And what I like to do is get that light, stick it, and after the system's installed, like what we just did, run it for a long while, you'll feel the light get warm. Come back and really give it another good push now that it's all warmed up. Seat that 3M, push and hold for 30 seconds, and these lights will never come off. You'll tear the 3M apart before you get them off. Easy to drill a small hole right here for the wiring. Wrap it up in our Tesa tape. You don't see it. Goes right there. Comes out under the hood. Very easy. Rinse and repeat down below. That's how we're doing the grill. When you have this base model grill, works really good. And as you saw, very effective. And if you ever really wanted the lights removed, you could take them off, clean up the 3M tape with a little eraser wheel, and you wouldn't have any damage on this grill. Nobody would ever even notice the little hole you made there. The other thing I like about these M-Powers is they're a gel lens, meaning there's really no airspace whatsoever in that light. The entire lens is gel. What I mean by that is like, that's full of jelly. Silicone, I'm not quite sure. Magic sauce. Anyways, there's no air in there. No air means no moisture, no condensation. None of that. So being a flexible kind of jelly lens, it's a little bit different than any other light in the market. That's the M-Power. And in Chicago, with the heavy salt that we love here, I have pretty good luck with these. So, fast fact about the M-Power. All right. Oh, sorry, Charlie. XL trucks don't get the 12-inch screen. They're still rocking the 7. We like this location for our switch. Nice and easy to see. We chose a full illumination amber. You can change that up if you like. Easy to get to, easy to run your wiring. We ran our wiring through the factory boot underneath the dashboard there. Right here you can kind of see, we do use a wire insertion tool, but I take away some of the inner layer of that boot so I can clearly see I'm not going to nick the factory wiring. Then I put my wire insertion tool slowly through there while somebody else watches under the hood, make sure I don't stab anything. And then you can bring some wiring back through, like you see what we've done here. So be very, very, very careful, because if you mess up that factory loom, you're going to regret that. So they're underneath the hood here. I'll show you a little bit of how we wire it. I like to take the fuse, of course, under this boot here, zip tie it back in. That's my power wire there. That way, when somebody opens this up to charge the battery, they're not screwing around with my wire. It's tucked in there nice next to a factory one, tight on the cable. They could charge or change the battery. The wire's also zip tied right here, so if anybody goes to yank it on this, it's not going to pull it out of the connector. Always retain your wiring real nice and tight like that. There's our fuse holder running over here. We just got a connector right here on the ground as well. Same thing, zip tied real tight. Comes here. Basically, we extended that badge with 22.5. You can reach your whole dang arm in the fender. Easy to get the wire. Bring it right over here. Oh, well, there it is. And we're going this way with it. We're taking it into this joint of wiring right here, which is coming off the battery with everything else. Going this way. Now, I ran a little extra on the 22.5 extensions for this, so if they need to pop the grill off, they can. I coil it up and I put it here. And that way, if they need to remove the grill, they don't have to jack with my lights or cut any cords or anything, because there's 5 wires in each light. So I just leave them a little bit right there. We run right through there. We joined up, came over here, ran it right through here. By the way, do a nice job. Tidy it up. Put it in loom. We're going this way, same deal. I ran a little extra. I ran through the core support. We joined it up now. We're going this way. We're going to end up going right through the firewall, through that boot I showed you over there. Very easy, nice and quick. And then you can make all your connections there underneath the dashboard, inside, syncing, pattern setting, blah, 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 all of that. This badge, of course, ran into the fender, went over this way, went inside. The light bar is fairly easy. You mount it to the Akari platform, run the wiring through here, run the wiring down so you don't hit any airbags, forward, over to your switch. Don't run it under the headliner. This is full of airbags here. Stay out of there. Let that be for the airbags. Run it down and forward. And then working our way around the back. Sorry for the wobble camera. Hope you're liking this tech help. I basically extended this M-Power with 22.5 over to here behind the taillight. Extended this one as well to behind the taillight. I put the module for the hideaways right here behind the taillight. I used the long hideaway to go over to this light. Extended it with the M-Power extension over here. And then behind the taillight here, that's where I'm going to make my joint. I'm going to run forward the main wire that way. There's a rubber boot in the floor right by the driver's left foot. Come up through there. Boom, you're at your switch. Fairly easy. These F-150s are not too bad to work on. Once you get everything behind your switch, again, set everything up back there, join them, switch them, power them, all that good stuff. So, thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. I hope you enjoyed this build. Any questions, please do email in, and we'll get you squared away. See you guys on the next video. Oh yeah, what is all that? Oh, that's a Pro Pride hitch. That'll be going on my shop truck soon, so we can pull big trailer. So that's what that is. See you guys later.